Hi everyone, Aiden here with the etrailer. Today we're taking a look at the Kuat Piston Pro X 4-bike rack on our 2023 Cadillac XT5. Now, if you're looking for a really premium rack that's going to have a lot of convenience features and just look great doing it, this is certainly the one for you. Now, you can see it's capable of holding up to 4 bikes, and it's going to hold them by the tires. That's going to mean a couple things. It's good for our carbon frame bikes, and if you have an alternative frame bike, we don't have to worry about frame contact or anything like that. It's going to be good for that too. Each bike can hold, or each slot can hold up to 40 pounds per bike, so just keep that in mind when you are loading it up with yours at home. And the thing that really makes this one stand apart from the rest is the integrated pistons. So all you got to do is hit these buttons here to open the arms up. You can load it up with your bikes and get on your way. The one thing I will point out with this specific bike here is that this one has a little bit of a potential conflict with that pedal there. So just watch out for that on your bikes at home when you are loading them up. These trays do sit pretty close to one another. On those arms, we've got a Kashima coating there to help reduce the buildup of dirt and debris, keep these operating smoothly for a long time. And then, once you've got the bike in place, just ratchet these down over the wheels, and it'll get a good strong hold on the bike. Really simple to do. The other ease of use feature we have here is the adjustment for different size wheels. You can see we've got all the labels on this side facing me, and just pinch these tabs to raise this up or down. So if you maybe have a kid's bike on here, going biking with the family, and then the other day or the next day you go out with some friends, you need a bigger tire, you can just move this up and it's good to go, tool free. With this, you have the ability to tilt it away with bikes loaded so we can get to the back hatch. I'd recommend doing this with another person if you have this thing fully loaded, because the pedal to pull and release it is all the way up here. I can do it on my own today because we don't have any other bikes loaded, but it is in a pretty hard to reach spot, and with the bike rack completely empty, it's 108 pounds, so it's really heavy. Just be mindful of that when you're checking it out for yourself. Now here we can get full hatch access, get something out of the back, sit back here to change our shoes before or after a ride if we need to, whatever we need, and we don't have to do it by unloading bikes or taking the whole bike rack out of the hitch even. And again, when I'm going to pull this back up, it's very heavy, especially once you get it loaded up with bikes. Just be mindful of that when you are lifting it. Now we can get the bikes unloaded. We'll just hit those buttons to release the pistons. I like to keep a hand on the bike here, just so it's secure. And you can see we don't have great room. They don't open up far enough for our mountain bike here, but we can just push these out a little bit further manually, which is great that we have that option, but with the buttons, I would really prefer if they opened up all the way. Now I'll set this to the side here, and we can get this bike rack put back together. All we got to do is just fold the arms up and push them down. That ratcheting mechanism there is what keeps it locked down. And you might need to, if you push it down even further, you might need to push the button to bring it back up to then freely push it. On the top, you can see we've got spots for cable locks to lock to. Our cable lock is included. And then I want to get some measurements. We'll start off with our ground clearance. At the back end, it's going to be 29 inches of clearance, which is plenty. I don't think you'll have any issues bottoming out here. The hitch sits pretty high up. We've got a good rise in the shank, and each tray does slightly rise up a bit too. It does add a considerable amount of length to the back, coming in at 45.5 inches, which is a fair bit, but it's not too bad compared to some other 4-bike racks. But we can fold it upright when the bikes are unloaded. So if we want to leave this in the hitch between rides, we can. You don't have to take it out every time. It'll lock into place. We use that same lever as before, and it's only sticking out 10.5 inches now. I will say in this state, it comes very close to the vehicle. like uncomfortably close for me. Down here at the very bottom with these arms, I'd say they're within less than 1/4 of an inch from touching your vehicle. And if there is enough rattling or vibration at that pivot point, you might make some contact. Personally, I'd recommend the Kuat Envy over this because there is more distance there, and you still get a really premium bike rack. At the bottom, we've got our anti-rattle. That's going to correspond with our tool up top. Just stores on the bike rack, and it can lock there too. But this is the tool we use to tighten that down and keep it secure in the hitch so we don't have as much shake and play. On the back of the bike rack, you can see we've got integrated lights. You do need wiring to make that work, so if you don't have 4-pole wiring on your vehicle already, you can check our fit guide to find a kit for you, and it's going to give you your turn signals, brake lights, and running lights. So if this bike rack does block them a bit, which it does, you will still have that visibility. The other thing to think of here is the size of it folded up. It pretty much blocks the entire back window, will pretty much block the entire license plate, as well as your backup camera. So it is very obtrusive. Just be mindful of that. With these 4-bike platform racks, they're big. They're gonna block some things, but at least with this one, you have that option to get some visibility with the lights. At the bottom, we're working with our 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube, and the hitch pin it comes with is locking